that's how they do.
Yeah, just so we can make it even more tense for the competitors. Okay. The whole group. So again, once again, I just want to say how impressed I am with what everyone did, and they were really, great ideas, good execution. Clearly, teams working through this, everyone taking it seriously and really diving in. It was great. It's really tough to judge something like this, and it's totally unfair to have you do all that work and then give you 4 minutes to present it, right? It's brutal, absolutely brutal. And so we really had to spend some time out there saying, one of the things I thought is, if we gave this team another couple weeks to really sit down and sketch this out, which ones feel like they've got what it takes to get there? Like they've got an idea, they're going somewhere with it, they've really, they're the team that could do it. And which ones 2 weeks later would just be 2 weeks in the same place? Kind of if you take that as the extremes, where do we think people were going? And yeah, they're all the different criteria. So I'm just going to say that our number one pick out of the non-competition teams was Easy Park. And want to talk a little bit about why, because they actually rated a little bit lower on the brief as that criteria, because parking is not necessarily the biggest problem in traffic. But they did a couple of things right. They were very focused on, they did less. And they focused really well on that. And it was very clear what they were doing, what their value was, what they were trying to accomplish. They've taken off early. And it was, they had thought through any number of different aspects of this. So, adding in public transportation in relation to parking, some of the design aspects were actually quite mature compared to, what you'd expect for such a short period of time. So just, again, ideas versus execution, they executed really well on what that idea was. And that's why we gave that. Honorable mention in that group to Pogo Ride. So lots of different people keying on the carpooling aspect, and I think that Pogo Ride did a really nice job with thinking about how carpooling works, and again the execution, the thinking through it, the quality of design thinking I think showed through in that work, and thinking about the way reputation was handled, the time that people were talking about carpooling. So I thought that was
and among the non-competition category, Pogo got maximum votes.
Yeah, that was the votes overall.
Okay, so the first runners-up amongst the three teams, AXA, AIZ, and TopMe. The first runners-up, I have it with me, and they are AXA. And the winner of Designathon 2015 is AIZ. Can we have the first runners-up, please? First, AXA, and if you can just present and have a few words.
Yeah, I'd like to say a few words about the rationale behind those decisions as well, in terms of that. So again, all three really well. I just want to say, just a moment for TOPM, a team that frankly struggled with narrowing down on their topic, but really got to a great topic in the end. I think the idea is fantastic, of thinking about women's safety and transportation. I think a lot of the ways that you were handling it were good, and I think probably if you'd hit on that topic a little earlier, you would have been much more in the running. I think you just with a bit more time to think through that, you probably would have gotten to something that I think could have been a winner. So I think it was really excellent effort, and it really was just that held back. For XA, I just want to say that so I think the whole world that you created in terms of really thinking about community and incentive around carpooling and around transportation choices was really nice. There were a number of different people who had that idea. but it doesn't make it any less innovative. Nobody copied anybody else. Everyone came up with those ideas on their own. So I think that was, it's a good choice. I like the way that you guys dealt with trust. That you had some really innovative ways of thinking about the difficulty of trusting other people in a carpooling situation and managing that. I don't think it came across as much in the presentation, but that's one of the reasons I'm going to have a follow-up discussion to make sure that we got all the thinking out of that. So yeah, really nice job on that. So shall we do these, and then I'll talk about as needed.
So they get the silver medal and silver certificate. So we can just give medal to each. Yes, please.
I don't know how this is done.
More than coming directly to the problem, I like the way we derived to that. I like the way, how we actually did, setting up, bringing up this, API part, that was very innovative. I mean, that is something that, I would like to, incorporate in my team. There's a lot of takeaway in terms of what all we can implement in our team, in our organization. I think, that would, set this workshop apart from everything else. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I would just like to add, this was definitely a very good workshop, but in the whole process, as we got to know about the competition, we learned definitely about competition, but there were so many other topics that we touched upon, and it was amazing to see what all can be done for a smart city, what we can do for environment in fact actually. So we kind of started thinking from that point of view, and we kind of where we are today. But there was a lot of learning. We all have worked together as a team, we got so many ideas, we kind of sketched up some prototypes and all. But the learning was amazing. Thank you so much.
Agilicis. So the team from Expansion and Agilicis, that's where X and A comes from. Expansion and Agilicis. Well done, team. Thanks. Well done.
So while they're coming up, I'll repeat again just how tough this decision was. We were, the scores, we tried to quantify this. You try to do that just to make it easier on yourself. And we were kidding ourselves because the scores were so tight all across the board. Different different points for different sections. So I'll be really honest for you. On the back of the presentation, you are not in the lead. And it's not against your presentation skills. It's just, again, I think a lot of what you were trying to do didn't come across in the presentation. I had to really think about what you were trying to accomplish. So again, the reason why I wanted to make sure we gave everyone the second shot, when we actually talked through it and explained it a bit more, I could really see. So I think that very much on brief, thinking about redistributing traffic, really good thoughts about transportation. Really innovative idea to actually take gamification right to another level and actually put you in a game in the car. I think that's a really smart way to handle that, and I think you handled the questions about that really well. So I thought that was very innovative, and I thought the design of that again was executed pretty well. I think you guys got quite far along in thinking about that design. So again, from my point of view, if I think would these guys have something really interesting and ready to move ahead with, given a little bit more time to work on it? Yeah, I felt quite comfortable about that, and I thought that was that was a good reason for driving that. Yeah, those are my main thoughts about it. I think just really nice innovative thinking. Again, I think you guys took a little while to come to what you were trying to do, and there was a lot of uncertainty as you went. But you pushed through that and really nailed down a good solution in the end, I think.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, the team that got maximum votes, AIZ winner. If you can come forward, please, for the gold medal. your final thoughts?
This is the first time we are attending a UX.
How many gold medals have you won?
None. This is the first time. The first time, and all of us are from, at least from Prime, are all product managers and not real designers. And we want to give it a shot. And the real problem with our organization is like trying to improve the user experience, and that's the biggest push for us to attend this. And we are very glad with the kind of structured way in which the workshops have been conducted. Not only today, yesterday also, like the afternoon workshop was very, very structured way. It gave us a lot of insights, and I have a session with the entire team Wednesday, so I'm going to try to put this out in practice.
This is my first UX session. It was great learning, and we got to know more best practices which we can carry forward.
Are you also from SAP?
I'm from Marine.
Okay.
And we got to know the best tools what others are using. So it was great knowledge sharing.
So I come from a monolithic organization in Recruiter, but working with product managers to actually envision a classic user experience is what I've been wanting to do, and it was a great experience learning from everyone out here. We had a designer on the team. I kind of managed mobile apps, so it was fun for me, also new learnings for me. And the workshops throughout 2 days, they've been super good. So, super good. Thank you so much.
So, most of the points I wanted to say has been covered. One interesting point for me is that when you're pushed to do something, really great things come out. Right? Particularly the mind writing piece, it really stayed at the end. The brain writing. Just the fact that you're given 30 seconds, you need to figure out what to do, and given 30 hours or 30 days to do it, I think the output more or less remain the same, because we manage our time such that we actually invest only 30 minutes in anything that we do. But given you crunch that into 30 seconds and then you try to figure out, I think there's a self-selection that's happening within the brain, and best ideas come out. Okay, I think that's really good. And as others mentioned, the structure of this whole workshop, the way the ideas are collected, filtered, presented, and then validated, it is excellent. Very glad that
Thanks, team, and would request a warm applause for Ted for being he's going to Chennai. That's why we have to finish it on time, and hope you will appreciate that. Thanks, Ted, for helping us conceive this. This is the first time we ran Designathon, and we went through several iterations. In fact, up to a point where Ted almost thought that this is not going to work, but then again pulling it back and making it work. Thanks your guidance, and we have done it. And this is going to be a an annual feature. Of course, we have selected the finalists, so they will ask us when are we going to do next. So that's going to again happen next year in the same month. And thanks to all of you for being so participative. You have been an extraordinary, participants. We do so many events on Agile. We do on software testing. We do on DevOps, on big data. Every month we have 10 events happening in about 9 countries, and you have been amongst the most participative. And because even during the break we saw that teams were working, and that showed the energy and the passion. So well done. And UX as a community is growing very fast. We have 2 requests from companies. They have asked us that if anyone wants to join them, they can, so just wanted to announce that. So one is from Intel Security, from McAfee, and the second one is just written on the back. So I'm just forgetting. So we have 2 options. So you can, I'll just post it later. You can write it to them if you or any of your friends, colleagues want to join those companies as UX designers. You have different roles like content writer as well as business analyst.
I have one at 9.
Yeah. Okay. So you can actually change in each other's company. Okay, great. So, but Zyme is the winner now. I think that's a selling point. They have won it. So, so thanks everyone, and we'll have the final photo of opportunity with the first runners-up, even the finalists. They did beat the best of the best and qualified. So we have the top 50. Maybe let's invite all the 15 finalists once again here for the final photo op. Yeah, please. Yeah, thank you. And can we have the first runners up together picture and then the second runner?
Okay, good time.
So, now the winning. Show up your medal and your certificate. Yes.
Doing you again. Wait, can you, should I do a little or?
Yeah.
That's just what I did with the last one.
We do, we post the winner's pick and the first runner pick on the Facebook, and usually the last time the Agile Olympiad winners, they had about 1,300 likes from all their family members, the companies, and the winner, which was Tesco, they posted it in their internal Facebook, which got 70,000 likes from all the, Tesco is a very large company, I'm sure. So take this opportunity, we'll be doing a lot of media splash and about the winners, and we'll also be putting your pick on Facebook. So our URL is facebook.com/joinunicorn. So once you like it, we can tag you then, and then you can help us letting your friends know that you have won this competition. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everyone, and have a nice trip back home. Okay. Drive safely, and see you next year. Thank you.